What's going on, YouTube? Is Donnie B all day. So listen, guys, a while back I brought you a video called the Ontario Knife Company Triple Threat, where I basically wanted to give you one company's knives. So let's say you're a brand snob and you have brand favoritism and you only want to use one brand. But you can't just pick one knife because one knife isn't a do-all. You know what I mean? No matter how much you want it to be, one knife is not a do-all. So basically what I did is I took three, that's why it's triple threat, three knives from Ontario. A pocket knife. Um, I brought you a basic survival type knife, your regular hunting knife, and I brought you a camp knife, right? So you had the Rat 1 folder. I brought you the Rat 7 fixed blade and the SP5, the big one. So I figure with those three blades, you can pretty much conquer any campsite necessity, right? Any real world zombie apocalypse, attacked by Bigfoot necessity. Anything you need to do, you can do with those three. So today we're working with Buck. Buck Knives is one of the classic quintessential knife brands on the planet. I mean, it's recognized everywhere. So with Buck, I planned on bringing you three knives. One being the Buck 124, and this is going to be my large knife, my camp knife, my get done the big stuff, my batoning with knife and doing some chopping with knife. This thing is a beast. The steel on this guy is a 420 HC. All right, I had a little cough there. Bloodhound nose. Can't go anywhere without it. So this one was a must. I had to have the 124 in there. For my pocket knife, you cannot go Buck pocket knife without bringing out the 110. This is probably one of the top three or top two most famous knife designs in the world. Literally, you have, I don't know, let's see, you have a couple different knife styles. You have the classic W49 knife style, right? Copied everywhere, all the time, every time. And you have your Muso Bowie copied all the time, everywhere. And you have this guy right here. These three knives right here. These three knives are copied more than any other knife design ever made. I mean, these are it. These are the top three. So you can't have a Buck collection without having this. And it's important to have a pocket knife in your collection. Not that this one can't do what a couple of the other ones can do, or the other ones can't do what this one can do, but this one folds up and you can put it in your pocket, you put it on a belt, whatever you want to do. You have a nice tight little package with this one. And it's important. It's always important to be able to have something that you can tuck away. Either a neck knife, which this is not, or a pocket knife, which this is. This is not a pocket knife. This is. So I knew that no matter what, my first two blades from Buck was going to be the 124 and the model 110. All right. Two great knives. Again, the steel on this is 420 HC. So then I was thinking, all right, do I go with the Buck model 119? And I thought, no, it's really, really similar to this guy. And I want to keep things a little different. And I want to use something that not everybody probably has. So then it came down to these two guys right here. The Buck Mesa, which I freaking love. And this is for my hunting knife. And the Buck 539 open season. This thing is amazing. And so I was really, really leaning heavily, and I mean heavily, toward the Buck Mesa. I think this knife is just fantastic. It's a hollow grind. It's really, really good for prepping meat and things like that. And if you have to take down, if you have to process an animal or whatever, this guy right here is going to do the job. And if it came down to having a smaller animal to process, you could always use this, even though that's not what it's made for. I would keep this more for my woodworking blade, whittling and doing goofy things like that, or an emergency side blade. As far as processing, I would need something more similar to this. And I was thinking about it, and I decided, no, I can't go with this, because this one right here is Buck's top of the line steel, right? This has got the S30V steel. They have different open seasons, right? They have of this design, this shape. Every year they do a different color, usually in here in the handle. This one just happens to be the year that I bought this. I think it was last year's model. And this is just phenomenal. This knife right here is amazing. You guys seen the Saddle Mountain Skinner from Benchmade? This guy is, I mean, same deal. Same deal. It's going to get you the same work. I think it's even got the same steel. I believe that's S30V. Just fantastic. So while this one is more steel, this one is more well-rounded for meat processing, because I can easily take the meat off a deer with this. However, when it comes down to small birds and things like that, or even if I had to do a rat or a mouse or some kind of rodent that I caught, this guy right here is going to be much easier to process that with. And I don't need to worry about having a bigger knife, because I already have this, right? So my triple threat from Buck, my 3 Buck must-haves, if you had to have 3 Buck knives, and only 3 Buck knives, the 124, the 539 open season in S30V, the good one, spend the extra money, guys, and the Buck 110. These 3 knives right here are all you would ever need in the woods, surviving, for knife work. This is all you would ever need to survive, and survive well. They're all going to last. They're all going to hold an edge. They're all going to be great. So what I'm going to do is, I did videos on all these. You got to watch the videos. They're all amazing. Let me show you a couple sheaths real quick. On the 124, you have a nice big fat thick leather sheath, which is awesome. On the the 539, the open season, you have a great leather sheath. Awesome. And I love leather sheaths, you guys know that. Opposed to the plastic sheath for the Mesa. That was one of the, aside from it being ambidextrous, and I love that, it's still not there. Even the Buck 119 has the beautiful leather sheath, but we're talking about these 3. And then this, I didn't bring it out, but this one comes with a carrying pouch, right? So you can either put it in your pocket or you can put it on your belt. Doesn't matter. Anyway, this is going to be awesome. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take some film I already took, and we're going to break down why these 3 knives would be your 3 must-haves. Here it is. One last look there. There's your Buck 124, and you can see the usage I've put through this thing. You can see right here, you can barely see the usage I put through this thing. I mean, you really have to find an angle to see some work on it. This thing is awesome. This is probably one of the best skinning knives you'll ever find. And then this guy right here, this is one of those everyday carry blades. As far as fixed blade everyday carry, this can be an everyday carry. I've carried this many times as an EDC. But this one I've carried many more. It's just simplicity. All right, so let's go over some of the Patriots and Red Sox. Let's go over some of the video that we have on these, and we'll talk about them. All right, hold on. All right, so first things first, the Buck 110 in the aluminum can. That big handsome guy right there with the ugly face just cruised. I got a finger in the way. Just cruised right through there. The blade on the 110 is sharp. So right here, check this out. I had some vacuum cleaner hose, and I literally just put the blade against it, and I was just slicing and dicing through this damn vacuum cleaner hose. I mean, this stuff is thick, hard rubber. This knife was cruising through it. That is not too bad. So, and we came down to just shredding some wood. Now, this was hardwood, and I was able to literally cruise through this wood just like I was able to cruise through the vacuum cleaner hose. The blade is basically a do-all, man. It's sharp. It's got great angle to it. The edge profile is just wonderful. There was no complaints, and the knife is solid. For a lockback, this thing was crazy solid. So I came over here to cut down some brush. It's not much of brush, but I mean, it's like a little land lawnmower. This thing was just breezing right through. I mean, this stuff is nothing, but it's just, you don't think about the little things that you can use these knives for. And this knife right here, I used it for the little things. It was just working itself right through all this stuff. And you can see that's not grass. You know, it's got a little bit of girth to it. Not much, but it worked it. And then I went right over to something bigger, and I thought, if I can go through the small stuff, why not go through the bigger stuff? So we are going to see right here just how awesome this little 110 is, because I got this tiny little trees, or basically weed trees. Not weed like smoking weed, you potheads. This is one of those little trees that just grows in your yard that you don't want to grow. And look at this thing, man. See ya. I hope you guys caught that. Let's see. So I was here talking about throwing my knife, and you guys know how much I like to throw my knives. I had to rewind on this one because I went so fast. Boop. Look at that. That is buck knife crazy. That's a folding knife, fellas. So when talking about a skinning knife, I took this thing. Now this is packaging cardboard. It was really thick, and it had been outside for a long time, and this stuff was pretty hard. And I was literally just dragging the tip across. And if it can cut easily through thick packaging cardboard, believe me, rabbit skin is not going to stand a chance at slowing this thing down. Oh, by the way, did I tell you that we moved on to the 539 open season? Here's the 539 open season. All right. So obviously it's not a chopping blade. It's a little skinner. But you can see I was removing wood with this little 4 1/4, 4 1/2 inch blade, whatever it is. I was removing some wood, but not a lot of wood. It's not a chopper. However, emergency situations, it'll take you 4 years. It'll chop. So here, I was just doing some little pull cuts to make some tight little curls. And you can see that that little knife right there is going to give you plenty of good curls. Alright, so that knife wasn't made for woodworking, but this one, the Buck 124, is. And even though this isn't wood, wow! Look how sharp that knife is. I'll tell you what. That knife is sharp. That took that thing, and it didn't move it. It didn't fly off. It stayed right where I freaking hit it. What? So I told you that, you know, this one's made more for hitting the wood. The blade is so fine and so sharp that I kept getting stuck in the wood because the thing just dives straight through. It is incredible to chop with. The knife is really, really badass. And if it came down to needing it to, you know, to get myself some firewood, to secure myself a good pile for burning, this one right here, I mean, it was a, it's a mammoth chopper. And it does the job all day, every day. So now when it came time to feather sticking, this thing was a breeze. I mean, it was a breeze. The curls that it made were so thin and so nice. Tell you what, makes it easy for lighting fires. And I mean, I had no intentions of doing some of the stuff I was doing in this video, But the knife was just so nice, I wanted to keep playing with it. I just wanted to keep working it. And that's what I did. I just continued to play with it. It was just breaking through the wood, diving through the wood. It was cutting it all, shaving it all. Everything I wanted it to do, this knife was doing. And when I was talking about it's good for, your camp knife, here it is. I had a knot right there going through, but the knife didn't care. The knife didn't care. It just went right through. So can you process wood? Can you baton with it? Can you make kindling? Can you do anything you need to do? You need to get that campfire going. Grab that and get it moving. This knife right here, the Buck 124, is one of my favorites. It is awesome. This thing is everything it's cracked up to be. Buck did a wonderful job with this guy. So here it comes, time to throw it. And man, that thing hit with a ton of power. Just awesome. I absolutely love this knife. Oh, I didn't show you the shave test. Hold on. I shaved with it right out of the box. Let me show you that. So this was the first video I did on it, and the video kind of sucked, so I had to redo it. But look at that. Right out. All right, so there you have it, guys. These are my bucks of choice. This one right here, the 539 open season and S30V. You're going to be hard pressed to find a better Skinner. This thing is just, hey, look at my nose. This thing is just awesome, man. It is such a good knife. Such a good little knife. Does it all. As far as the absolute classic, I mean, you look at this thing is so thick. It's built like an old truck. The thing is not going to fail you. Just a great knife. If this is into the woods, into the pocket, into the street, it doesn't matter. This one is going to go anywhere, everywhere. And the Buck 124, I mean, it's just a beast. Some of you smaller hand people might not appreciate these scales. They are squared off at the top. So if you have little dinky hands, you're probably not going to like this so much, and you might want to go with the 119. However, talking for what I'm making this video for, this is not going to give you the same chopping ability and batoning ability as this one. Can it chop? Yeah. Can it baton? Yeah. Can it do all that stuff? Yeah. But not like this one. So either man up and open up your grip, or you know what I mean, just choose a different big knife. But this one right here, man, if you're a fan of Buck, you got to be a fan of this. So this is it. This is Donnie B all days Buck knife triple threat. If you're going to choose Buck as your brand and you need just 3 knives, just 3, these are the 3 I say you go with. And not because anybody told me to tell you that, but because I use them and I love them and I understand what it takes to make a great blade great. And all 3 of these are great blades. So that's it. I'll be bringing you more triple threat brands. We're going to do SE, and we're going to do, a bunch of others. I mean, I got Becker to bring you, and I have K-Bar to bring you, and I know Becker's made by K-Bar, but because Becker's different than K-Bar, I'm still going to bring you 3 from Becker, 3 from K-Bar, and we're going to keep this show rolling. This is just fantastic. This is just fantastic. This is just fantastic. This is just... So, that's it. Hope you guys dig it. I hope I was able to give you enough information on your triple threat. Remember, go check out the Ontario Knife Company triple threat. There might be something there that you see that you saw better than you saw here. You might have seen that one, and you might see this video and think, wow, I'm glad I didn't go with the Ontario. I'm going to go with the Buck. It's all preference. Wait till the other ones come out, though, because I'm bringing you more. All right. I'm Donnie B all day. Until next night.